2020. What a year. Hey y'all, it's Sheila. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I know it's been a long time. My friends, Monika and Marlene, Monika's Beauty and Lifestyle, and Marlene Fab and Glam are doing their favorite products of 2020. And I'm jumping in with them. So let's get started. I spoke about this earlier in the year. The Partu Air Purifier. Hang on, let me sit it down. I got several of those and had them in several rooms in the house and just loved them. And several of y'all got them and said, oh, you love them. Well, I have grown a greater appreciation for those air purifiers during the last couple of weeks. I put up the Christmas decorations, which involves a lot of things being plugged in, and I had to unplug too. I'm having to dust all the time again. I had gotten so used to only dusting every couple of weeks, and now I'm back to dusting a couple of times a week. So I have a greater appreciation for the air purifier. I didn't bring all these things up here to show you because I couldn't. One of the things, I use an air fryer every day. And my air fryer broke, and I was talking with Marlene and Monika, and Marlene said, I have the Ninja Foodi and I love it. And I'm like, what's that? And she said, well, it's a pressure cooker, air fryer, slow cooker. It steams, it bakes, it broils, it sautés. And I'm like, it sounds like something I need in my life. I got one and I love it. So the Ninja Foodi is one of my favorites from 2020. And most of my favorites are not beauty. They're not. I didn't buy a lot of makeup this year. I bought hardly any. I think I bought one palette. The skincare purchases that I've made have been things as I run out of them, or if there's a sale and I get just a couple of things. I've spent very little on beauty and makeup this year. I had an herb garden this year. I had an herb garden years ago. I always had an herb garden. Haven't done that in several years, and planted an herb garden. And I love stepping out the patio door and clipping a few fresh herbs to cook with. I know, yeah, dried herbs, they're just not the same to me. They're just not the same as a fresh stalk of something. And I was dreading winter and the cold weather because I thought, there goes my herb garden. I bought an Aero Garden. It's a hydroponic machine. You put water and plant food in it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Here is some herbs that I cut 5 days ago. Stuck them down in a glass of water. There is sweet basil, Thai basil, and dill in here. I'm going to use most of this tonight in a recipe for our dinner. I have thoroughly enjoyed my Aero Garden. It sits on the kitchen counter and it has a light on about 16 hours a day, and it is a bright light. Things have grown so well in that Aero Garden, and I have dearly loved it, and it's been a favorite of 2020. My son was home the spring, summer, and early part of the fall, and he said, let's plant a garden. I'm like, okay. We haven't had a garden here in years. Excuse me. Dave and I used to always have a garden, so we planted a garden, and I enjoyed getting up in the mornings and walking out there and seeing what was ready and pulling a few weeds and just spending time in the garden. Loved it. And I decided to preserve some of the food that came out of the garden. Well, there was a shortage. There's been a lot of shortages this year. I think we all know that. There was a shortage of canning supplies. Those Ball and Mason canning jars and the rings and lids. I scrounged up some to do my canned tomato sauce. More like a pasta sauce. I made a good bit of that. And then I'm like, okay, I really can't do anything else because I don't have any more lids and rings. And I bought a food saver. I've never had a food saver. I have enjoyed that. I did. I have a bushel of green beans, blanched them, put them in the food saver bags, put them in the freezer. When I buy stuff now, if it's a big pack of meat or something, I can break it down into the number of portion sizes, that we need. Seal it up in those food saver bags. The food saver has been one of my favorites of 2020. Another favorite, and it's several things, Amazon Prime, Walmart.com. I hardly ever go on Walmart. Things online, Netflix, Amazon Prime. I binge watched Designing Women recently, and some series on Netflix, The Crown, called The Midwife. That has been a blessing in 2020. But I was doing a Walmart order for some home goods, clothes detergent, stuff like that. And I thought, I need some new kitchen rags, kitchen towels, kitchen dish rags. Um, these popped up. Now, this looks like nothing. It's a rectangle shape. It's not microfiber. It's not. I cannot stand the feel of microfiber. This almost has almost like a velvety feel. What came in so handy with these after my hand and arm surgery, I couldn't use that hand really for about a month. I could wring these out with one hand. But the shocker, say for instance, your spaghetti sauce gets away from you on the stove because you cut the wrong burner down and the wrong burner up, and it's bubbling and splattering everywhere. Yeah, sometimes, I did that. The stove was hot. It baked right onto it. And later on that night as I was cleaning, I grabbed my rag, wrung it out, wiped over it. It was gone. These things to me work almost like a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. They clean so well. I'm getting more. If I can find them, I'll link them down below. I think I got 6 for $5 something. This is the only kind of dish rag that I want from now on. It's really been a lifesaver. The Philips Sonicare toothbrush. Now, my husband is not one to brag over something like a toothbrush, but we went to the beach, and I have the carrying case. We have 2 of the wands. And usually I take one and then our toothbrush heads. And he comes out of the bathroom and he goes, "Where's my toothbrush?" I said, "It's in the drawer." He comes out with a manual toothbrush. He said, "This?" I'm like, "Yeah, I forgot to bring the Philips Sonicare." And he uses it and comes out, and we're getting ready to go for a ride. He said, "You need to go in somewhere and get me a toothbrush. That thing in there is not worth a flip." And I'm thinking to myself, those are new toothbrushes. Those are new. But I went in, got him another toothbrush. That night he comes out and he goes, "What is wrong with the toothbrushes now? They're not any good." And I said, "David, it's not the toothbrushes. You're used to the Philips Sonicare." Monica's Beauty and Lifestyle had mentioned that a company was going to send her a sonic toothbrush. And I'm like, once you use it, you'll love it. And your teeth won't feel as clean if you use something else. So we got home, and the other wand at home broke within a week. He was chomping at the bit, waiting on the delivery person to bring his new toothbrush. So yeah, the Philips Sonicare, I've always loved it. I've had them for years and years and years, but this year David would tell you, yeah, that's a favorite. That Philips Sonicare is a favorite. One of my Amazon trips, I need some body wash. And I found this. I've not seen this out in stores around us. Of course, I haven't really been in stores, to be honest. It's the Nivea Refreshing Body Wash. And right here in gold, this must be important because it's written in gold. It says Nourishing Serum. And there's the serum right there. It shows a picture of it being dropped into the formula. So if it's in gold, it must be important, right? I love this body wash. The reason I love it is it's basil and white tea. It smells so clean and fresh. This has been just a little something that I've enjoyed and has been a favorite in 2020. If you don't like basil and you don't like the smell of white tea, you probably won't like it. But yeah, I really like it. Now into the 3 skincare items. After my surgery, I didn't do any skincare for about 4 weeks, and my face was starting to show that I hadn't done any skincare in about 4 weeks. All my redness was coming back. My broken capillaries were showing. And when I got my hand where I could really use it and do skincare, I started back on the Flora and Bast. This is one of my top 3 beauty product or skincare products of 2020. I love this. I will always have it as long as they make it. It works well with my skin. My skin likes it. It doesn't bother my rosacea. And I had picked up a bottle while we were at the beach when we were there with Marlene and Monika, and I tried it several months ago, and it did not work out well. Whatever carrier oil that CBD serum is in tore my face up. My rosacea I was blood red. I had pustules popping up. It just didn't work. I'm sticking with Flora and Bast. Bay Harbor Beauty. Julie from Bay Harbor Beauty is such a sweetheart. There are several of her products that I use. I love the jojoba bead scrubbing body stuff. I love the she has a body cream and an intense body cream, and I really like it for my feet. And then she has a body polish that's an enzymatic body polish. I use that a couple of times a week, and I really love it. But for me, the star of the Bay Harbor Beauty Show is the vitamin C. This is a triple C serum with tranexamic acid. If you have dark spots on your face, tranexamic acid is your friend because it lightens dark spots. I don't use a moisturizer. I've talked about that forever, but this has a little olive oil in it, and it's a little, I guess you would call it my vitamin C and my moisturizer all in one. It does not burn my face. It does not break me out. It does not make me red. I love this vitamin C serum. BoxyCharm. Oh, what a love-hate relationship I have had with BoxyCharm. I have been fortunate in some of the month subscriptions if there was one thing in there I could use. I'm no longer subscribed to BoxyCharm, but way back in 2020, this eye cream came in it. And I pulled out the card, and it's like QMS Intensive Eye Cream, $150. And I'm like, yeah, right. Threw it in a drawer. Several months later, I'm cleaning out the drawer, organizing things, and I was about to pitch it over here in the trash can. And I thought, no, they say that stuff's $150. Let me just ask Mr. Google Pants about that. And Mr. Google Pants said, yep, $150. So I thought, I'm going to try it. It's going to be a total waste of my time, but I'm going to try that, and I'm going to use it in the morning. I'm going to use it in the night, and I'm just going to say, hey, this stuff isn't worth a flip. 2 weeks later, after I started morning and night, I'm up in the mirror, tweezing my eyebrows, and I happen to look at my under eyes, and I'm like, my under eyes had gotten so bad, it looked like I had a layer of crepe paper down here. Y'all might say, your under eyes don't look so good right now. Well, let me just tell you, my under eyes look fantastic compared to what they looked like 6 months ago. In 2 weeks, I saw a drastic difference in my under eyes. Marlene and Wayne were traveling from Kansas to Florida and stopped in North Carolina, and we went and met them. And I took her a little bit, and in about 2 weeks, she goes, Sheila, I really like this eye cream. I really like it. And Monika chimes in, well, does it work on crepey eyelids? And I'm like, I don't know. I hadn't used it on my eyelids because it's $150. And the only thing that's going to help my eyelids is a surgeon and a scalpel. So I'm not wasting it. I'm just using it under my eyes. It's too expensive. I started using it from here to here and from here to my eyebrow. And I sent them a picture 28 days later, and I'm going to put that picture here at the end. And what a difference those 28 days made. My under eyes were even better, and half of the crepiness was gone from my eyelids in 28 days. I love this stuff. For me, it really works. I was shocked. I was going to pitch it in the trash can. But let me just tell you, there must have been a lot of people quite like me that went, yeah, right. You can find this stuff on Mercari, Poshmark, and eBay now, like nowhere near $150, like under $25. I have several of them. I'm going to use it as long as I have it. It has worked really, really, really well for me. So these are my 3 favorite products of 2020. I have a new phone and I keep looking at the wrong place. I'm sorry about that. Since I have my under eyes getting a little bit back under control, I had not been able to wear a concealer, and I had been very sparing with my foundation up there. I pulled out this Dose of Colors Find Your Hue. I have found my hue. It is Light 09, and I have found my favorite concealer of all times, but I wouldn't have been able to have used it had I not used this. I love this. I love this concealer. I don't know how many products that was, but those are my products of 2020. Strange, unusual, trying, hard, difficult year. It's almost over. I have high hopes for 2021. I want to thank all of y'all that reached out to me, text, emails, private messages, phone calls. I appreciate it all. I'll try and come back sometime later and give you a little update what's going on around here. But I just wanted to hop on and wish everybody a Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah or a Happy Kwanzaa or a happy, whatever you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate anything, just a happy. Y'all take care. I'll see you later. And it's always a great day to have a great day. Bye now.